video is about Alan, who owned a 1954 vintage car which was very valuable as an antique car in the market. Bully, a well-known gangster, wanted to buy the car from Alan, but Alan refused. Bully then threatened to injure Alan's family if Alan did not enter into a contract with him, which is sell the car to him. Alan feared for the safety of his family and sold his car to Bully. In the light of contract law, advised Alan whether the contract of the sale of the car can be challenged and the grounds for doing so.
Apa lagi mau tunggu? Lu pagi sini betai kau datang jumpa gua lah.
你哋咁班人仔頭見得多啊，唔見棺材你唔知死啊！我打到你mana punya ranting，我唔知道你邊度嘅刺頭。我mau jumpa lu Maya，你terkenal sama
Mana pencipta lu tak payah tanya gua lah. Lu sudah enggak jadi sama gue memang kan. Sekarang pendiri moyang gua mau tangan lah.
我tak mau tahu lu mana datang， lu Maya kering lu datang sini lu king ya benar.
The issue is whether the contract for the sale of the car between Alan and Bully can be challenged due to Alan's fear for his family safety.
Jangan kamu, tembaklah aku. Tembaklah kau berani. Sudah lu. Lu mau main sama gua? Lu mau main sama gua lah, Jai. Sekarang gua lari ya. Aku tak tahu.
Raise my name, kita boy, when you ain't no pain, no gain, izin aku mampai. Don't raise my name, ratata bang bang, zani syabla kama beruman.
The application by applying Section 15 of Contract Act 1950, coercion purpose in the case of Alexander Button versus Alexander Edwin Armstrong on December 5, 1973, under Section 19, Bracket 1, a contract made under coercion is voidable at the victim's option. In Barton versus Armstrong, the court held that a contract could be set aside if a party was induced to enter into it due to threats or pressure that violated their free will. The court emphasized the importance of genuine consent in contractual agreements. However, in this case, Bully threatened to injure Alan's family if he did not sell the vintage car. Alan, who is fearing for his family's safety, entered into the contract under duress. This threat of harm constitutes coercion, as it forced Alan to act against his free will in selling the car.
So what is coercion? Coercion is when someone is put in a position where technically they could say no, but if they don't agree to what someone else wants them to do, that person will enforce consequences. So these aren't like natural consequences. These are consequences that someone in a position of power enacts onto someone else in an attempt to control them.
Certainly, in this scenario, the element of coercion arises as Alan is compelled to sell the vintage car due to the threat of harm to his family. Coercion, as per Section 15 of the Contract Act 1950, involves the use of force or threats to force someone into a contract against their will. The court in Barton v. Armstrong highlighted the significance of genuine consent in contracts, emphasizing that contracts induced by coercion are voidable. Alan's situation falls within this scope, and it's essential to delve into the specific of how the threat impact Alan's decision-making process and rendered the contract voidable under Section 19.
Did you know that a contract may be voidable if one of the parties was under duress when the agreement was made? Duress is the mental, physical, or economic coercion of another, causing that party to act contrary to their free will and interest. Duress arises only if extortive measures are employed or improper demands are made in bad faith. It is never duress to do that which a party has a legal right to do. For this reason, filing or threatening to file a civil lawsuit cannot constitute duress. On the other hand, a threat to file criminal prosecution may be duress even if the threatened party is guilty of the crime. The threat of harm must be imminent, and the threatened party must have no present means of protection. It must cause the threatened person to do what there was no legal obligation to do.
Next, the answer for application. In the first issue, Alan was threatened by bully with violence to his family if he did not sell his car to him. This threat is illegal and criminal, and it could be argued that it coerced Alan into the contract without his true consent or free will. Therefore, Alan may have a valid claim of duress against of bully, and he may be able to challenge the contract and rescind it. However, some factors may affect Alan's claim, such as whether Alan had any other options or alternatives to avoid the threat or the contract, such as reporting bully to the police or seeking legal advice.
It is crucial to determine the nature and severity of the alleged threats, as well as whether Alan had any viable alternative or sought legal consent before entering into the contract. Furthermore, the timing and the context of the alleged threats will be important in determining Alan's claim of duress. In simple words, the idea of public policy helps us to stop bad contracts. These are deals that go against what society thinks is right or wrong and establish rules in law. Deals that include actions or conditions against public policy are not allowed to be followed.
For Alan and Bully, the danger of hurting Alan's family to force a deal is very big. It raises important questions to public rules. This kind of action not only goes against what is right, but also includes the basic rule that should be followed when someone agrees to a deal. It needs both people involved willingly and in a good mental state. Agreements made based on threats of violence weaken in trust in the law and social order. So, a court might not let Alan and Bully's deal happen because it goes against what the community thinks is right. This shows how important these big ideas and rules are for everyone in town.
In conclusion, due to coercion, Alan was coerced into signing the automobile sale agreement by Bully, threatening him and his family with violence is subject to challenge. Alan's claim is supported by the legal precedent of Barton v. Armstrong, which holds that contracts induced by coercion are voidable at the victim's discretion. Alan's lawsuit may or may not succeed depending on the seriousness of the threats, his opinion, and the advice of his attorney. The contract with the ramifications are not worth it because it adores social norms and trust. If the contract is against public policy, the court may decide not to enforce it.